I found something online that kind of talks about historically the tragic mulatto myth. That tragic mulatto myth has continued throughout history. That narrative has followed biracial Black people. So I just wanted to read y'all a little bit from it. This apparently is in the Jim Crow Museum. It says, rooters claim that mulattoes were held in higher regard and treated better than pure blacks must be examined closely. American slavery lasted for more than 2 centuries, therefore it is difficult to generalize about the institution. The interactions between slaveholder and the enslaved varied across decades and from plantation to plantation. Nevertheless, there are clues regarding the status of mulattoes. In a variety of public statements and laws, the offspring of the white-black sexual relations were referred to as mongrels or spurious. Also, those interracial children were always legally defined as pure Black people, which was different from how they were handled in other New World countries. A slaveholder claimed that there was not one old plantation in which the grandchildren of the owner, therefore mulattoes, are not whipped in the field by their overseer. Further, it seems that mulatto women were sometimes targeted for sexual abuse. A greater likelihood of being raped is certainly not an indication of favored status. The mulatto woman was depicted as a seductress whose beauty drove white men to rape her. Every mulatto was proof that the color line had been crossed. In this regard, mulattoes were symbols of rape and concubinage. This part is a little bit triggering, I apologize in advance, but TikTok, this is for educational purposes about the history of the tragic mulatto myth. Regarding mulattoes, the offspring of unnatural relationships, they did not have the right to live because, Carroll said, they were the majority of rapists and killers. His claim was untrue, but widely believed. Mulatto women were depicted as emotionally troubled seducers and mulatto men as power-hungry criminals. Nowhere are these depictions more evident than in D.W. Griffith's film, The Birth of a Nation. The reason that I wanted to bring this to attention is that this is white supremacy's plan. This was the plan all along, to further divide the Black community and to keep us inferior. As you can see, we have a very traumatic generational history of being biracial in America. And being biracial opened us up to all types of different forms of abuse simply for being biracial. Our existence has literally been seen as unnatural, and we were told that we didn't have the right to live. Some white people have more of an issue with biracial Black people than they do with Black people because we are a mixture of their race and another race. I just want to remind people that many of the harmful tragic mulatto stereotypes that y'all keep bringing up and that you hear about are literally false narratives. They are myths, and they were only created to paint us as an undesirable race. Books about the tragic mulatto back in the day that talked about how we thought that we were better and that our lives were better and we were so close to white that, we could fit in and pass and just forget that those were not real stories. In real life, Black people and biracial Black people are one community. I found something on